Hey guys, welcome to the Brown Bag Podcast where I talk New Orleans Saints. This time around, I want to discuss a recent quote unquote confrontation between DaVante Parker and Michael Thomas on Instagram. So, without further ado, let's jump into it. The origin of this whole thing started on an Instagram post. I forgot the original creator, but it basically posed the question of which is tougher: A, making a catch while being guarded by Stephon Gilmore, or B, break up a pass while guarding Michael Thomas. DaVante Parker commented A, and nothing else. But when Thomas saw his comment, he didn't like that very much. He went on to reply, and I quote, "For you, yes. Go run some numbers up, then you can talk. I lapped you, and you've been in the league longer than me, first rounder." And then things kind of went off from there, at least from Michael Thomas' side, because Parker really wasn't having any of this bull crap. The closest thing Parker came to being serious with Michael Thomas was when he said, "Got some hard feelings there, brother? Let me get targeted 300 times a game." Thomas then replied, "In other words, you weak. They don't even put your name in the same sentence as me." And then he replied later and said, "You're still not going to do nothing. It took you 6 years and 17 weeks to have a good game. Blame your parents, not no QB." They went on for a few more comments, but after that, it kind of just ended. This whole beef, as most would call it, it just seems really random. Mostly from Michael Thomas's point of view, because Parker just replied to what Thomas said, and he never really started anything. If these guys are joking and they're friends and they're just shooting shots at each other, discount all what I say, because honestly, it kind of comes off like that. But if it's not, and Thomas is really out here being petty like that, then I'm gonna just say it, dude's being a straight up clown, because Parker plays in the AFC East. He has to play Stephon Gilmore, one of the best at his position, if not the best at his position, every year. So if anybody knows how hard it is to be guarded by Stephon Gilmore, it has to be him. But Thomas didn't see it that way, and he just kind of went off. Now, some people might be like, "Oh, well, since he chose A, he's asking for it. He's already disrespecting Mike." Honestly, that's just some weak stuff. That's just some nonsense excuse to try and justify your knee-jerk reaction. Like, if Parker said something like nobody was better than him, or he was like, "Oh, I'm number one," then I could see Thomas's response. I don't care if a player is mouthy online or is mouthy during the game, but it has to be relevant to what's being said, and it can't just be some insults that a 12-year-old would come up with. Some people were trying to defend Mike going after Parker like, "Oh, well, Thomas is elite, and the elite are always competitive, and they always trying to defend their stance." And I just don't agree with that. There are tons of players who are elite who don't have to talk about how elite they are. There are plenty of elite guys who can just go out there and prove it on the field. Like, come on, bro. You don't got nothing better to do all day. I know we're in quarantine and all, but dang, man. I've heard fans mention how Thomas is pretty mouthy online and he's pretty mouthy with fans. I've never really quite seen the whole fans part. The closest thing I've seen to him being pretty petty online was when he kind of trashed the Rams for putting up only like 3 points in the Super Bowl, which honestly was kind of funny because I was saying the exact same thing. But aside from that, I've never really seen anything directly, but yeah, I can kind of see what they're talking about from this whole thread. Like, again, if these dudes are playing, then honestly that would make complete sense, because this whole thing is just so random. And even with Michael Thomas's petty reputation, this is a new type of level of petty when somebody hasn't even brung up your name and you just go off. Like, I don't really want to talk about AB like that, because AB's low-key crazy, but this is some straight AB stuff. Granted, the original post did bring up your name, but This dude plays against Gilmore like twice a year. Like, what do you want him to say? And it's going to be sickening to hear people try and justify this as him being tough or him being a dog or him being competitive. It's honestly just unnecessary. Again, if DaVante came at him sideways, then hey, it is what it is at that point. But DaVante ain't do that. But yeah, those are all my thoughts on this situation. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't. Stay tuned for more content. And until next time, Brown Bags signing out.